Hello, everyone. This is Erica Kareem, and I am so excited to be here this afternoon. I am having a podcast called Healing the Black Family Podcast, where we are focused on repairing and restoring Black families, individuals, and families. And whether that is social injustice, agriculture, repairing relationships, health and wellness, you name it, we need to be repaired. And today I have a special guest, Miss Vette Green. Thank you, Miss Vette. Thank you for coming on here with me. How are you today?
Thank you so much, Erica. I am doing fantabulous. Thank you for inviting me and welcoming me to your podcast. I love the idea. I think it is definitely something that is needed in the Black community. And I just want to applaud you for taking the step in and making a space for people to come on and talk about how we can heal.
Yes, thank you so much. And I know that it's much needed. Now, you know what? On a personal level, I know a couple of people that have committed suicide within the last year, and a lot of people, few people that, well, a lot of people that have caught COVID have had, side effects from it. So we just need to heal in all areas of our life.
I
So,
agree.
Miss Vet, tell people about yourself.
Well, my name is Vette Green. I was born and raised in Buffalo, New York. I currently am living outside of Chicago. I have a podcast called Think and Grow with Vette Green that airs every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on Facebook and on Charm City Direct TV network. Oh, God.
Yeah, hon, I can
My
hear.
apologies. I went through I feel like I went through the fire. At age 35, I found myself going through a divorce separation from someone I had been with most of my adult life. From the time I was 18 until I was 35, I was married, had children with this man, and at 35, because that relationship was no longer there, I had an identity crisis because I had always identified myself with being a mom and a wife. And when part of that identification was gone, I didn't know what to do with myself, Erica. I really had a mental breakdown. When you hear about nervous breakdowns, that is something that is quite often. It happens a lot in the Black community. It
Mhm.
happens a lot in many communities, but it happens more often than not in the Black community, and we do not know how to identify that. So began my journey. For several years, I stayed attached to that pain, and I
Mhm.
identified with that pain. I played the victim mode for so long that that's the only thing that I could identify. If you came up to me and asked me how I was doing, I would go into this spiel about how, oh, my husband left me with all these kids. I have 6 kids, 2 sets of twins, and I just felt like, why is this happening to me? This shouldn't happen to me. It was not in my plans, but God knows what the plans He has for us, and that just was not in my cards. So what I decided to do in 2018 was to jump out on faith, and for the first time in my life, in my adult life, I decided to take a chance on myself. I decided to save myself because I felt like, after attempting suicide 3 times, after being in the mental institution 3 times, I was like, you know what? Something has to give. I've tried everything. I've tried everything but myself. I've tried everything but God, and so went my journey. I went, and I'm still on the journey, Erica. This is something that's continuous. I'm on this journey of discovering who Vette Green is, because I did not know who she was. I didn't even realize she was in there, but now I realize the strength that we have, me, myself, and that little girl that was inside of me, just begging to be seen, begging to be heard, begging to, just for an identity outside of what she thought she was. And here I am, and unapologetically, I'm going to continue this process because it has opened up so much about who I am, what I like, and what I'm capable of. I was able to, within a 3-year time period, I was able to change my mindset. And that's the key right there. When you want something different, you have to do something different. And for me, that meant I had to change what I was doing. I had to change my outlook on life. I had to change a lot about what I thought about myself, and take action in my life, not sit on the sidelines waiting for life to continue to pass me by. I had to take a stand and say, you know what, enough is enough, and do something about it. And that resulted in a changed mindset, changed life. And I can see the difference every day.
Oh, that is a powerful story. And you know what? Another thing is that so
Oh, I
many.
can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Uh-oh. Okay. Let's see. I don't know. Oh, that's terrible. Let me see. Okay, I just unmuted the mic. Can you hear me now?
No, I don't know. Would you like me to leave and come back?
I might
Sometimes
be.
that helps.
Okay, try
Okay.
that. So, can anyone hear me? If you're on here, can you push yes to see if you all can hear me? I don't know. Hello, hello. Okay, here she comes. All right,
Okay.
can you hear me now?
All right, here we go.
Oh,
Sometimes it happens.
okay,
I use
okay,
StreamYard in my own podcast. That's why I know sometimes it acts up like that.
okay. So, I was just saying that that is a powerful story because more often than not, we lose ourselves, and it's so often that we have to go and create the woman that we desire to become, and I
Hmm.
often, we're similar. I have 7 children while you have 6. And so, I, in the beginning, I lost myself as well. And so it's just when people say self care, self care, I didn't get the memo of self care growing up, And
Hmm.
so, I think that self care is very, very important. And especially trying to get to know who you are, creating your own identity is so important.
Hmm.
So, what type of steps did you do to create your own identity? What did you
Oh,
have to do?
oh, I love that question, Erica. I had to totally do a transformation, even as far as what I identified my name as. So Vet comes from my middle name. I totally went my government name is Letitia. Vet is part of my middle name. And I decided not to continue to use my married name. I did not want to use my married name because he had hurt me, and I did not want to go back to my maiden name because my father had hurt me. So my thought was, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go all in, and I'm going to change. I'm going to create an entirely new identity. And so came Vette Green. Green is derived from my grandfather's. That's my grandfather's last name. That was the father in my life. That was the first man, my first man superhero. And I feel honored to even, use his last name because that man showed me the most love until he
Mm-hmm.
passed away. So that's where the name came from. So with me changing my name, you know how Beyonce has her Sasha Fierce. I had to tap into something new. I knew those other women. I knew Letitia. I knew Booby. That's my nickname. I knew who those women were, but I did not know who Vet was. And in order to create this identity, I had to, tap into someone different. I had to see someone different. And I started manifesting. I started saying, you know what, this is the life that I want to live. This is how I want to live my life unapologetically. I don't I went through this divorce, and I realized that my husband was not benefiting me anymore, but I didn't know what it looked like to be without him. Now I'm forced to be without him. Now I have to create an identity that is minus him, but still with my kids, because I'm still a mom. So I moved. You know, for some people, you can't heal in the same environment that hurt you. So I moved 430 something miles away from everything I knew. All of this had to happen in order for me to step into this place where I am right now, in order for me to step into being Vette Green. I also decided to, you know, change my focus. Instead of focusing so much on that hurt that I had experienced, I decided to focus more on my future. I started journaling. I started, you know, saying what I wanted in my journal, what, you know, coming up with these um goals. What do I want to accomplish in the next year, in the next
Mm-hmm.
30 days? Because for me, I get a little overwhelmed when it seems like, okay, I don't know all of these steps. What are the details? I want this, but I don't know how to step into it. And for me, I'm taking it 30 days, 60 days. I was just talking to my daughter the other day and said, I'm taking it quarterly now, like we do in business. In business,
Yeah.
I'm taking, so now 2022, I'm taking it quarterly. What do I want to see accomplished before, by the end of this quarter, by the end of March? And I'm
Yeah.
looking at it that way. Before, I wasn't doing that. Before, I wasn't taking my life and thinking of myself as a brand,
Mm-hmm.
building Think and Grow with Vette Green. I wasn't thinking of myself like that. So with me taking those steps and saying what I wanted, and taking action in my life, I started gathering these tools and using those tools, actually thinking it helped me grow into this identity that I have right now.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you think the some of the, just like one or two or three of the problems are when people get into new relationships and they have all this baggage? You know how they can do themselves and other people a disservice
Mm-hmm.
by not getting clear, not cleaning their self up, you know, mentally. It's
Mm-hmm.
very important, right?
Yeah. The number one for me, and what I've noticed with a lot of people, is identifying it. A lot of people don't realize the amount of baggage that they're carrying with them. They don't realize that the things that they've encountered have made a lasting impression on their lives. So they're showing up as that situation. They're
Mm-hmm.
showing up as that challenge, or they're showing up as that abuse. They're showing up as that, and there's no need to. One of the things that I realized is, you have to unpack your life. You have to find out why it is that you are the way you are. And once you're able to identify what's causing you to act or react that way, there's something powerful. I just had a podcast episode the other day on Tuesday about this. There's something powerful that happens when you're able to identify why you are the way you are, because then you have the ability to change the narrative of
That's
how you're looking at that thing. So instead of looking at it as a victim, instead of looking at it as, oh, woe is me, or oh, why is this always happening to me, you're able to change the narrative and say, you know what, okay. And I talk to Father God all the time. Okay, Father God, this happened to me, and I hate that it happened to me, but I got a lesson out of it. I'm able to
yes.
see, you know, why this happened to me, and I'm able to extract the lesson out of that. The other thing that I notice, Erica, is that many people don't want to be accountable for their lives.
Mm.
One of my favorite movies is The Matrix,
Yeah.
and it's so eye-opening because you can walk through life and not have your eyes open. Many of
Yes.
us are okay walking through life with our blinders on because we don't want to see ourselves, not our true selves. We don't want to look at ourselves in the mirror. We don't want to look at the issues. We don't want to look at the problems, especially of this world. So we'd rather walk through life with blinders on, and in doing that, we're barely living. We cannot find who we truly are supposed to be, what we're purposed for, until we take those blinders off. Those are the two main things that I find that are hurting people. Is one, identifying it, actually accepting that there's some issues going on with you, accepting them, acknowledging them, and then doing something about it. And two is taking accountability for your life. Oprah
Right.
says that you need to pay attention to your life, because when you don't, you get whooped. When I'm not paying attention to my life, when I choose not to be a participant in my life, that's when my life is chaotic.
Right, right. That is so true, because we have to be intentional. We have to
Absolutely.
we have to guide our narrative. We have to save ourselves. Nobody's gonna come knocking at the door saving you
Right.
or saving me.
Right.
We have to save our own self. And in doing that, we have to unlearn some things that is not serving us. We have to unlearn some things that is not honoring who we are or supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I totally understand how that goes.
There's a book that I'm listening to right now on Audible called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And he outlines it's so
Well,
good, Erica. Oh my goodness,
okay.
it's so good. The first chapter is so eye-opening, because he breaks down, and I am not one that uh, my attention, it goes really, really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It holds my attention, because he breaks down in these bite-sized nuggets why it is that we are the way we are, and how you can identify it, and then unlearn those things, like you said, that are no longer serving you, because
Right.
it's an unlearning process.
It
If you
is.
think, so I'm 46 years old, imagine what I've learned in 46 years,
Yeah.
and imagine the baggage of the things that I've learned. I have to unpack all of those things and extract the things that are good, and throw away the things that are not serving me. If they weren't serving me then, how in the heck do I think that they're going to serve now in this new life that I'm trying to build for myself? It's impossible.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
let it go.
Gotta let it go
Hmm.
and learn some new things. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And you know what? People would argue with me with this, but I really am a firm believer in not finding yourself. I'm a
Mm.
firm believer that we have to create ourselves, because if we go find ourselves, we're finding that old person that we used to be. And I
Oh, I
don't want
like
all
that.
of that old person anymore. I want to create the new, the unstoppable, the
Oh, I
powerful.
love
You know what
that.
I'm saying? I want
I
to
love that.
Yes, I want to create her. I want to create the person that is that if when somebody's judging me, I don't care. But when you're in your 20s, you care about stuff like that. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
you
When
really
you're a
do.
teenager, you care about what people say or what people think. But when you actually create who you want to become, who God says, well, this is you, and I can only judge you. You know what I'm saying? You don't
Yes.
worry about all that anymore. And
Yep.
guess what? Not only do I worry about not people judging me, but I don't judge other people, because I know we got shit going on. I
Right.
understand that we are trying to survive in this world. We all have stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I had to realize that I love me, then that made me more powerful, because I love you. Just because you're you. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? And so my 20-year-old wasn't walking around saying I love me or I love you. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
so basically, I think it's just a growing process. I loved me myself at age 20, but I didn't actually say those words,
Mm-hmm.
at age
Mm-hmm.
20. And I
Yeah.
understand how we can lose ourselves, because I have kind of like the similar story as yourself. I have 7 children and a wife, and one day I woke up saying, God, there has got to be more to life than just being a wife and a mom. You know,
And a mom,
like
yes.
really, really.
Right. Right. And it's so easy to lose ourselves in it because we're so
Yeah,
focused on taking care of these kids, and it's like
yeah,
you forget about yourself. It's in and it's so detrimental because
it is.
you begin to not even think of your needs. You begin to not even think of what it is that you want out of life because it's all about the kids and your husband or your mate.
And you
and
look
and
up,
and, and that's a part of self-care. Yeah,
right?
it's
You look
okay
up and be like,
to
well,
be
what
like,
the
what
hell
about
do
me
I
to you?
want, right?
Right.
Whoever,
Yes.
what colors do I really like? Where do I like to go? Where do I want to go? It's like things you really never even thought of. You didn't have time to think about it.
Oh my God, Erica, when I remember the first time I went to the grocery store after me and my ex had separated,
Uh-huh.
I remember standing in the meat section like, what do I buy? You know? Like
Yeah.
because I knew my kids were still young. I knew what they liked, but I also made sure that I had what he liked. And it's like,
Yep.
well, what do you like?
Right.
What do you
Right.
like? It was so weird.
Mm-hmm.
It was just really, really weird.
I know. I know. I know. So, Vet, tell us two things about yourself that we don't know.
Well, I said I have six kids, two sets of twins. The first set of twins, I didn't find out until the end of August that there were two babies in there, and they were born in November. And I
Oh,
had four sonograms, and my daughter was hiding. She was
okay.
hiding. And the second set, I told my doctor that it was twins. I'm like, uh, this is twins, Dr. Smith, and she's like, no. Do you know how unusual that would be? I'm like, okay, whatever. By month 4, they should. Yeah, I'm like, I told you, there was
Really?
twins. Yes, absolutely. And because it reminded me of my first pregnancy with my twins, with my
Okay.
twin girls.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I have a Brady bunch, 3 girls, 3 boys. My girls were born first and then my boys. The second thing, what else about me that you don't know? Um, well, I was addicted to painkillers for a very long time. I
Okay.
had 15 surgeries in my life. And I remember my ex-husband used to say that the doctors were just legal drug pushers. And
Yeah.
yes, they were.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they were. Before I knew it, I had a an addiction and didn't even realize it.
Mm.
I was taking them to help cope, and it got really bad after me and my ex had separated because now I was taking them to sleep, to cope, to do everything. So yeah, those are two things,
Okay. Okay.
but God,
Blood
when I
God. I
tell you He
know that.
delivered me from myself, He delivered me
Yes.
from myself.
Yes.
It was
Now.
when you don't care about yourself,
Mhm.
you are setting yourself up not only for failure, but to live in a life where you are just going to be unhappy. You have to find your happiness within you.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. So I was going to ask you, the girl that was hiding, is that her personality now?
I'm sorry, say that again.
The child that was hiding, the twin that was hiding, is that her personality now?
She's no, she's so outspoken and
Is
not
she?
at all. She still likes to
Okay.
sleep. I remember when
Okay.
she was born, she was the oh my God. I hate to say perfect baby, but she really was because I literally had to wake her up to eat. She did I know. My
Really?
grandmother used to call her a lazy baby. She did not want to wake up. She
Uh-huh.
did not, and her demeanor is still real calm. Like she has a real calm demeanor, outspoken, but she would rather be somewhere doodling,
Yeah.
sketching, or drawing.
Right.
She's artistic, very creative. She would rather be doing something like that. But yeah, and I'm so glad because her twin sister had colic. So
Right. You didn't need two babies going crazy, right? Having
God knew
oh
he
my
had to give me
goodness.
one that did not cry. She did not
Right.
cry. She was such a good baby, such a good baby.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
So I just want to say thank you so much for coming on here with me today. It was
absolutely.
amazing. if anyone wanted to reach out to you because of whatever, maybe they're going through anything, or they maybe want you on their podcast, how can they reach you?
Yeah, so I am on all social media platforms, I believe. I know I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, at Vette Green. I am on Charm City Direct TV Network on YouTube. That's where my podcast Think and Grow with Vette Green streams from. I also have a page, Think and Grow with Vette Green, on YouTube as well. I haven't been on that much
Mm-hmm.
because I'm on the Charm City Direct TV Network. But yes, if you have any questions about this process, please reach out to me. I am an open book. I believe that God saved me from myself because I am supposed to be doing exactly this, helping others
Yeah.
find their true selves, and helping others realize that it is not over. If you fall and you can look back up, that means God still has a plan for you. So stop fronting on yourself.
Yes. Yes. I
Stop
love.
shorting yourself. Get up and
Mhm.
take your power back.
Yeah,
Period.
take your power back. And
Mm-hmm.
when we're younger, we're taught what goes on in this house stays in this house. And I tell people, you know what? No more. We're not for it. We're not supposed to be doing that. Because when
Right.
we overcome, we're supposed to go out and teach. We're the teachers of the world. Us women, we're the teachers. And when we, or even men, like when you overcome it, you share so that other people can get out of their funk even faster. But
Yes.
if you are a person and you think, oh, I'm the only one that went through this, I'm the only one, you're not going to share it with nobody.
That that is the biggest lie that I
Yeah.
have heard and that we tell ourselves that I can even think of. That is a
Yeah.
huge lie. You are never. The thing is, Eric, I'll say this, is that because we think we're alone because we have not found our tribe. The
Yeah.
moment you begin to take action in your life, and you declare to yourself, I want change, and you actively intentionally work to change, your tribe is going to find you. It is
Right.
amazing how things truly gravitate towards you. The law of attraction, I am a strong believer of it. Once
Yes.
I begin to change my mindset, people, the support that I needed, the people that I needed in my life found me.
Mm-hmm.
That is so true. I have linked up with so many great people. I have been able to network with so many great people, and I wouldn't have been able to do that with with that same mindset I had back in 2017. Not
Right,
at all.
right, right. And that's why it's so important for community, for accountability, to find
Hmm.
sisterhood. We're not
Yes.
supposed to be alone. We're just not supposed to be isolated. We're meant to get out there and just be together, collaborate, you know. And so yeah. So again, thank you so much for
Oh,
coming
you're
on
welcome. Thank
with
you so much
me.
for having me, Erica.
Yes, and I'll reach out and maybe we can do this again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Have a good
Okay, talk to you
evening.
too. Bye bye.
All right. Bye bye.